Good morning. I had to restart the video. I actually was in a minute or two, but um, I had to take care of my granddaughter who lives next door. She fell and cut her knee riding her scooter, so we had to take care of that first. But it's July 9th, 2018, and I was watching a video by Dan Bongino, and it says, all of a sudden the liberal media cares about surveillance. And Dan is talking about and connecting the dots on the arrest of the leaker. Leaker leaked the name of Carter Page to his girlfriend at the New York Times. And she wrote a story, and that's what led to all of the narrative, the ensuing narrative that began the ensuing narrative um, of the Russian collusion. And there was actually no crime, but we were talking about uh, Carter Page, who we found out recently had a relationship with the FBI, and he was used to get a FISA warrant and kick all this stuff off. Now, FISA warrants are only used for the worst of the worst of the worst, and you have to have some good evidence to get a FISA warrant. So this has wide-ranging implications um, all around, and we've discussed this throughout, and the point Dan was bringing up was what he sees happening with all this. Not only that the media is all of a sudden after carrying the water and pushing the lies that began all of this and have continued it on, all of a sudden they're interested. And what he's saying, not only is he excoriating them and saying they have no credibility, which they don't, but that won't stop them. That won't stop them from commenting and being, righteously, you know, that won't stop them. They'll still do it. But what he believes, and I've said this before, is that they're going to, that right now, that Mueller's job going forward is to not so much go after the president. That ship has sailed, but they have to protect the DOJ and the FBI, the institution. So, and the people at the very, very top. So, Mueller's job now is to minimize. They're going to allow him to take down certain people. Certain people are going to go down. um, low level, mid level, and top, but not very top. Those like Obama, Hillary Clinton, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and that touches on another thing, the A1 deal, and now we lost the somebody stole the laptop or server or whatever, and from Congress, mind you, and we all know what that's about too. We're protecting the people at the very top, the people at the top, the executive, uh, the State Department, uh, the former two DOJs, Loretta Lynch and Eric Holder. Um, you know, John Kerry, of course, was after Hillary Clinton in the State Department, and what it is now is they're trading. They're they're trying to protect the rest of the show. And another thing that I had said is that all of this against Trump began the moment that Donald Trump came out against Barack Obama in 2011 and began talking about the birth certificate. And he was onto something because that encouraged some moron to um, engage in creating a computer generated file, piecing together copies of other people's birth certificates. And Mike Zullo went over this. And he did the investigation, and the investigation is continuing. And he uncovered all of this stuff, and he presented it to every single member of both houses. It was presented not by Mike Zullo, but by somebody who had permission from him. And they went and they showed it to each and every governor of the 50 states. Copies of the results were sent at the time, what they had at the time, 2012, 2013, 2014, to every single sheriff in this country. And no one pursued it. No one pursued the birth certificate. It's been made all about the birth certificate, which anybody who knows the concept of Vattel's Law of Nations, which is where we get our natural born citizen clause, that it's not just about birth. It starts with birth, okay? Birth on American soil, on U.S. soil. Two U.S. citizen parents, not one. I know that they say, so you get some lawyers, that constitutional lawyers, that'll say, oh no, it was just the father, or they throw that out and they say either of the parents can be a U.S. citizen, but that's not the case. That's not the truth. It's not case law. It's not reality. The evidence is there. You just need to go and research it. Not on Google either, because you're not going to find it on Google. You're going to have to use another search engine. a more reliable search engine that doesn't filter all that stuff out. Um, it starts. All of this started with a usurpation in 2009 and the lead up to that usurpation and the silencing of two houses of Congress, the silencing of the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the judiciary at the very top, talking about the Supreme Court, talking about those at the top of the Pentagon, Homeland Security, talking about former presidents and first ladies. Okay? They were all involved. Whether they received something in return for their silence and were actively involved, or if they were threatened into silence. You know, we got something on you, so you better watch your shit, okay? They can do that on anybody. And if they look hard enough, they could probably find something on Trump as well. Back when he was younger, they could probably find something eventually. Anything. I mean, look at the Stormy Daniels crap, you know, and the stuff that they had with, you know, they recorded him secretly talking off the record and in private a conversation about women and what he could do with women, because they essentially they flop all over him because of his stature and his money and whatever. Okay, doesn't mean anything in the long run, especially for where he was at the time. But these are things that they can use: drug use, sexual escapades, um, you know, shady dealings, didn't pay taxes, whatever. Not saying that he didn't pay taxes, because he did pay his taxes. He's paid his taxes. But basically, going back to the original intent of why I'm recording this video, I was watching the Dan Bongino video and talking about the sudden switch of state-run media and all how outraged they are now about the leaks that began this whole thing and started the entire ball rolling. They're now just in damage mode. It's even the people in the DOJ and FBI today, they're protecting themselves. Mueller is protecting himself and the people that that he is friends with at the top. So they're going to play this back and forth. We'll give you this one, you give us this one, and I didn't think of it before I saw Dan's video, but well, I mean, I knew they were going to go after everybody but those at the top. Now, if they may give you McCabe, they may give you James Comey, you know, and a few others, Strzok and Page, and if they're forced to, they may give you somebody higher than that, like a Loretta Lynch or something, which I doubt it, but they may do that. But it's not going to go above that. They're not going to touch Obama. They're not going to touch Hillary, because this is all to protect what they started on January 20th, 2009, when Barack Obama illegally set foot in the White House for the first time. And if you don't know that, you ain't paying attention. You're just not paying attention. Oh, by the way, just to, before I finish up, if we allow it, we deserve what we get. We need to stand up. We need to get our asses out in the streets. We're not, we don't need to be looking to tear everything up and to get people hurt, killed, whatever. Okay? But we need to show our faces. Our faces, our bodies need to be in the streets. They need to know that we know the game and that we aren't going to tolerate them sweeping it under the rug. We elected Donald Trump to drain the swamp, and he cannot do it by himself. In the last year and a half, almost, we're a couple months away from a year and a half. We've seen that he cannot do it on his own. He's done a lot on his own, okay, but the deep state controls all of the mechanisms, top to bottom, okay, top to bottom, and it all needs to be cleaned out. They all need to go. Every single one of them need to go, and we need to get our asses in the streets and tell them that they have to go, and that we will not leave them alone. We will not stop until they're gone. And at some point, we're going to have to decide if they won't do it themselves, if they won't walk away, if they will not prosecute the people that need to be prosecuted because of their own involvement. Jeff Sessions. Then we're going to have to do it ourselves. We're going to have to physically do it ourselves. We've allowed it to come to this. We didn't react. We bowed down in the corner. Oh my God, they called us racist. They called us homophobes. They called us Islamophobes. Oh my freaking God. We can't have that. We don't want anybody to perceive that, even if it's bullshit. That's basically, we were bullied into submission, into allowing Barack Obama to lead all this. And Trump is uncontrollable. Trump is not one of them. But he knows all their secrets. He's been in the circle. And he knows who they are. Name by name. He knows who they are. He knows the crimes. But they don't control him. No puppet strings. Okay? But it's on us. So when are we going to stand up? I've been saying this since 2009. And it just goes on and on and on and on because we're a bunch of fucking pussies. We talk. We talk. They know we talk. They get out in the street. They raise hell. They run us over. The police go along. They're ordered to go along. And they do. They do. They take the paycheck and they go along. How long are we going to go along?